Hi engineering Janta, I am Vaibhav Shukla and today I have a big update for you guys. So first of all, if I'm audible, if you can listen me, if you can view me clearly, go ahead, tell me in the chat section so that I can start with today's content. And I promise I'll answer all your doubts, don't worry. Confused coder finally dekho, sure yaar, of course. Look, whenever there's some authentic update, I'll be there in front of you, don't worry. So great, you guys can hear me, great. So everybody, there's a big update for all of you from TCS. And since a lot of days, whenever we went live, whenever we were having something, hi everybody, hi. So whenever we were having something on our platter and we were giving you Wipro or anything, any information, a particular pertinent question was there. TCS आ रही है नहीं आ रही है सीधा बताओ TCS का क्या सीन है TCS hire करेगी नहीं करेगी a lot of things fine. So for that case I have a news for you and it is a big news. But before we dive in deep, first of all, you guys go ahead, follow us on social media handles so that you never miss any hiring update. And top 3 comments are getting Prepinsta Prime subscription for free. If you're standing that chance, go ahead, compete there and tell me in the comments what exactly do you need so that we can help you out. Fine. So let's dive in deep to the information that we have. TCS is hiring 40,000 freshers in 2025, and this is I'm talking about financial year 2025, which means it will be ending in March or April. They are closing their target, so we can expect some kind of hiring or some information that can be rolled out from their side. Number one. Second, directly from the horse's mouth, directly from the top leadership, CHRO Milind Lakad has specifically said that TCS will increase fresher hiring further in financial year 26, where they are trying to exceed the current fiscal year's target, which is 40,000. So we can expect at least 40,000 or more than that for financial year 2025 and 2026. So it is really going to change the basic paradigms of the market for every student. हर student के लिए बहुत ही different तरीके से चीजें change कर सकता है, because for those जिनके पास ऑफर नहीं है उनके लिए दिस कैन बी अ बिग रिलीफ अगर वो ये क्वालिफाई कर लेते हैं तो, ठीक है. एंड एवरी टाइम बीट फ्रॉम टियर 1 बीट फ्रॉम टियर 3 किसी भी कॉलेज से हो, टीसीएस का इंतजार सबको होता है, बिकॉज टीसीएस ऑफर्स वेरी गुड प्रोफाइल्स लाइक प्राइम एज वेल एंड इट ऑफर्स बेसिक प्रोफाइल्स लाइक निंजा एज वेल. ठीक है, तो वील अंडरस्टैंड इन डेप्थ अबाउट टीसीएस, बट इट्स हाई टाइम यू स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर इट. हाई टाइम है. वाई एम आई पुशिंग ऑन सो मच, वाई मैं इस पे इतना स्ट्रेस क्यों कर रहा हूं, उसका एक बहुत सिंपल सा रीजन है. आई विल शो यू समथिंग इंटरेस्टिंग. दीज आर द इंटरनल पेजेस ऑफ TCS. नाउ वेयर दे केम फ्रॉम, what are they doing, I'll not comment upon that, but honestly there are updations being done here, fine, on the internal pages of TCS, and this is being rolled out. Fine, if this is being rolled out here, there's a high chance that very soon NQT can be announced. Fine, to all of you who know that TCS hires via NQT, it's great. For all of you who don't, TCS conducts National Qualifier Test every year and it conducts it multiple times. So this particular test can make sure that you enter TCS and a lot of other companies. How it goes, I'll tell you. Don't worry about that. We'll go in detail. But right now such things are happening. So you guys can be assured that very soon you'll hear something from TCS side, an official announcement of registrations for any particular hiring or any particular exam. So this is high time you start studying. Fine, and that is why I brought some hiring numbers for you as well, so that you get the context right. तुम्हें ये मालूम पड़ जाए कि context exactly numbers के form में क्या है, data क्या बोल रहा है. ठीक है, so अगर if I purely talk about data on campus exclusive in 2023, 30,000 students they registered for NQT, they were taken in. Fine, and out of 3.45 lakhs in the National Drive 1, 25,000 students were selected. National Drive 2, 45,000 students, and this is in 2023. After 2023, a sudden dip came and TCS hired very less people. Then in 2024, when the dip happened, now in 2025, they are actually, for the fiscal year of 2025 to 2026, they are planning big hirings above 40,000. They might exceed around 55,000. That's the rough number that I can take on. So let's discuss the profiles that NQT would offer you. Fine. And why am I speaking about all of these profiles very specifically? Because these profiles are what you generally get in TCS NQT after qualifying that. Fine. If you qualified through and through, you get these profiles. These are the three profiles that TCS offers in NQT: Ninja, Digital and Prime. So Ninja ranges from 3.36 LPA to 3.53 LPA. Digital ranges from 7 LPA to 7.3 LPA. And Prime ranges from 9 LPA to 11.5 LPA. Now in this scenario, generally, you can expect when the stock prices of TCS are going up, they'll definitely hire more people. And if they'll hire more people, there's a lot more chance to get placed in the pool of these three profiles. Fine. If you're somebody who's landing in Ninja, the potential roles you'll get are software tester, operations associate for softwares, Java developer, web developer. Now, both the profiles might seem lucrative, but in Ninja, you'll be given old technologies, redundant technologies almost. Fine. Python developer, this too will not get much of exposure in Ninja. But when you come to Digital, you'll have full stack developer profiles, backend developer profiles, DevOps profiles in Digital. Fine. Web developer, Salesforce, SAP, good profiles you have here. Fine. And even in the full stack web development, you'll have good technology to which you'll be exposed. And to Prime, this is one of the flagship profiles they can give you. And this is AI, ML engineer, data scientists even they get from here. Fine. Gen AI engineer, cybersecurity, business intelligence. Fine. Everything is generally here. Everything which is of cutting edge technology, you get in Prime. Fine. So if I go further, we'll understand the general process, how people are filtered out. And then I'll talk to you about how the hiring pattern goes, how the process goes. Fine, I'll talk about that as well, don't worry. But here, for a while, let's understand. If I talk to you about this particular online test, fine, so this is NQT. If you perform good in NQT, if you're in top 1%, the role for which you will be shortlisted for interviews would be TCS Prime, and that would be around 1.5 hours interview, detailed interview. But after this, if you perform exceptionally well, if you're good enough, you'll get Prime. If not good enough, but they can judge that you can fit in Digital, you go to Digital. If you're not very good or your performance in the test is not up to the mark, then Ninja role. Fine. Or if they found you not good at communication, then as well you can be downgraded there. Top 5% go to the TCS Digital interview, and this is 1 hour interview. Sometimes it also extends to 1.5 hours, but here also Digital and Ninja roles can be offered. And for Ninja, top 20% people of this test get the Ninja profile. Now, if you carefully see, even for Ninja, you need to be in top 20%, which basically means 80% of the people are getting straight away washed out in the first preliminary round, this online test only. 80% people are simply being brushed off. Fine. So the competition is super high. Fine. So you need to study a lot in terms of practice, but the topics are very specific. They are well structured, and I can help you out with that. बताऊंगा सारे रिसोर्सेज बताऊंगा, टेंशन मत लो, लास्ट तक वीडियो में रुको, एक एक चीज डिटेल में एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगा कि कहां से क्या पढ़ना है, एंड जर्नी आसान हो जाएगी. फाइन. बिकॉज टाइम इज लेस, हमारे पास टाइम क्रंच है, और उस टाइम क्रंच को हम कैसे हैंडल कर सकते हैं, उसमें कैसे हम इफेक्टिवली तैयारी कर सकते हैं, इस पर भी बात करेंगे. डोंट वरी. फाइन. सो फॉर TCS hiring process, first is online test, which is generally NQT. Fine. Then technical interview panel, managerial interview panel, and then HR interview panel. Fine. Now if I go ahead, there are two types of NQT. Before I explain you the syllabus of this, before I explain you what's the general test pattern, let's understand what's the difference between paid NQT and free NQT. Because a lot of students ask, sir, paid NQT bhi hota hai, what can we do in paid NQT and how can we clear it, and what's the difference between these two? So to explain you that, to answer that, paid NQT में generally the companies that hire in paid NQT are TCS plus few partner companies. देखो टाटा ग्रुप छोटा सा तो है नहीं, टाटा ग्रुप is significantly big. Alongside that there are some allied companies, fine. So they use this paid NQT as the basic standard and your score is floated in these particular companies. If your score gets shortlisted, you get a call for the interview and your interview happens and then you might convert it into an offer. But in free NQT, exclusively TCS hires, fine. And here Ninja, Digital, Prime, these profiles are specifically offered in TCS. Generally, no partner companies get into this particular test, fine. Here you can find other partner companies as well, but here you have to pay for the test. This free NQT is free for everybody, fine. Now, if I go further and explain you the skeleton of exam so that you basically understand how the exam functions, मेरे लिए ज़रूरी है you guys know what is the exact pattern of the exam, general pattern, so that you start preparing yourself early, you be proactive. When TCS will come with the registration announcement, I'll again come in front of you. I promised you guys, when some authentic update from TCS will come, I will stand here and I will explain you. When registration will come, I will again stand here and explain you. I promise you that, fine. But apart from that, skeleton क्या है exam का? You understand that first of all. So you have two sections, foundation section and advanced section. In foundation section, this is mandatory for Ninja profile, 75 minutes of total time you get. And in this, for numerical ability, you have 20 questions. This is a subsection. Again, a subsection of reasoning ability, 20 questions. And then for verbal ability, you have 25 questions. For each subsection, you have 25 minutes and total of 75 minutes you have here, 65 questions are in total. For advanced sections, you have advanced quants plus logical. This is one section, 25 minutes, 15 questions. So the number of questions is less, the time given is more. Why? Because the level of difficulty would be much more here, fine. For advanced coding, you'll be having 90 minutes and 3 questions. So basically that sums up to 30 particular minutes for every coding question. And in that case, you'll be having 90 minutes. And in totality for the part B, you have 18 questions and 115 minutes. So if I talk about general cutoffs, fine. So in general, you have to solve correctly 12 to 16 questions for numerical ability, same number for reasoning ability and 14 to 16 questions for verbal ability, fine. अगर इतने questions अच्छे से कर लेते हो यहाँ पे, so the best part is you might get a good call for Ninja. ठीक है, निंजा के चांसेस बहुत हाई हो गए यहाँ पे एंड दिस विल ऑल्सो बूस्ट योर प्रोफाइल फॉर प्राइम एंड डिजिटल रोल्स. हाउ? लेट्स चेक इट आउट. When you come to the advanced section, which is mandatory for digital and prime profile, in this case, if out of these 15 questions, you're solving 10 questions, you might likely land up in a Ninja interview only. But if you cross this number of 10, you generally solve 11 and 12 questions correctly, you'll get a call for digital. Given that you perform good in coding, which is you solve 2 questions completely out of 3 and 1 you solve partially, in which some test cases failed, some passed, fine. If you solve around 14 questions correctly, and this should be a range of 13 to 14, I must say, this is not just 14, 13 to 14 questions. If you solve here correctly and you get all 3 questions, full test cases passed, you're going ahead for prime, fine. So these are the general cutoff trends. This is how your exam will look like. These are some screenshots from how it generally looks, fine. This is a basic layout that TCS always provides. So here you'll have marks for correct answer, the negative marking. Here you'll have the section to choose questions. Now, there is a very, very solid thing in this, that there is no negative marking generally. Section switching is not allowed. You cannot switch between foundation section and the advanced section. You cannot switch first. Subsection switching is also not allowed. You cannot think that first of all I'll attempt one subsection, for example numerical ability, and then I'll jump to coding questions. No, you cannot, fine. So subsection switching is also not allowed. Question switching, that is allowed. For example, you are working in a particular section, so you can switch from first question to 12th question, and then from 12th to 6th question you can switch this, but no other switching is allowed. and browser tab shifting is not allowed. Exam will immediately end, and generally it is an in-center examination. Since last 2 years it is generally being held in center. So fine. So if I go ahead and I show you, this is how the numerical questions will look like if they come. Fine. So for detailed pattern, I'll start from numerical ability, and in numerical ability you'll have this particular topic: elementary statistics, simplification, speed and time, boats and streams. So basically you have percentages, time and work, area and mensuration, number systems, equation, data interpretation. Fine. You have profit loss, ratio proportions, and for ninja profile, no, for the foundation section, they are not very tough, to be honest, but these sections are super important to prepare because there will be a time crunch, and 80% of people, as I told you, are getting rejected here itself. In the aptitude itself, 80% जनता would be flushed out कि bye bye, दोबारा मत आना इस टेस्ट में. As simple as that. Next time apply करना. ठीक है? TCS is very clear on this. So you need to be ready with this. How to prepare these, I'll come to that. But right now understand that these are the topics, and if you want, I can give you this complete PPT for detailed study for PDF, and for that you have to join a WhatsApp group. So the support team who's right now handling the support for this live, go ahead, please put the WhatsApp group link here. And guys, you, everybody of you, go ahead, join that WhatsApp group, because in that you'll have access to this PPT and a lot of other material. Every update regarding TCS NQT for 2025 I'll be putting up there, so you go ahead, join that. Fine. So if Avinash is handling that, please Avinash, you go ahead and put that WhatsApp group link. You will also find that in the description. Fine guys. So that is one thing, and apart from this, you can go ahead and find that link in the description as well. Fine. Now if I go ahead and tell you that in advanced quantitative aptitude you'll have the similar topics, but the level of difficulty would increase a lot. So you need to be very, very thorough with them, because here you'll be having 20 questions, 15 minutes, 12 to 16 questions of cutoff. Fine. Now out of these 20 questions, the bigger challenge is if you leave any topic out of them. For example, you left time and work. Fine, you just consider that, and 2 questions came out of that. Now for anybody who has to solve 12 to 16 questions out of 20, fine, I take a general number of 12, fine, out of 20, and if I multiply it with 100, just see, this is 60%, fine. But if you have left 2 questions, now in that case, you'll have 12 upon 18 into 100, which is nothing but 12, 3 6 are 18, 2 3s are. So this somewhere lies around 66%, I can say that comfortably, 66.67%. So you are raising your cutoff. You are raising your cutoff if you are leaving any of the topics. So these topics must be thoroughly prepared. ये कैसे prepare करेंगे? आऊँगा इस पे, ठीक है? Here the similar topics get their difficulty elevated. Now if I go further, for reasoning ability, coding, decoding, cubes, cut folds, blood relations, arrangements, these bold topics are super important. Venn diagram, data sufficiency, statement assumptions, cubes, cut folds, blood relations, these are super important topics. Fine. You need to be very, very thorough with them. I'm not saying you leave the others, but at least practice these bold topics a lot in detail. Fine. And same applies here. You need to be thorough with reasoning, because in advanced reasoning ability, the level of questions would elevate immediately. बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा questions का level. ठीक है? Now if I go further for verbal, these are the basic general trends that we receive, which is reading comprehension, sentence correction, error identification, and grammar, not to be left at any cost, super important. The others can be covered while studying these only. Fine. So you need to study very smartly, and that is why this PPT can be important, and that's why I was telling you join the WhatsApp group, because that would help you out in many terms. You can find that link in the description of this live. I'll share this PPT as well as some other resources I'll keep sharing for NQT. Fine. And how to prepare, the biggest question now. Let's answer that. देखो, I always say one thing. I'll tell you the free resources, I'll tell you the paid resources, but the most important portion is, are you right now in a place where you can afford wasting time? That is a big challenge. I'm not saying that you please necessarily spend money. I'm not saying that. But just think of for a while. Can you be in a position where you spend money and save your time and clear this exam if it comes? And you can be on the other side of fence where you are placed, or you take a situation where you are spending 6, 8, 10 months in preparing. Fine. So both ways it can happen. फ्री में भी धूमधाम से तैयारी हो सकती है, मैं हमेशा ये बात बोलता हूँ, बट टाइम ज़्यादा लगेगा, रेडी रहना उस चीज़ के लिए, एफर्ट ज़्यादा लगेगा, रेडी रहना उस चीज़ के लिए, और फ्री रिसोर्सेज हमारे यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, prepinsta.com, you'll have previous year papers of TCS. I'll show you where you'll find them, don't worry. And on Prepinsta Prime, there is a TCS NQT course, one-stop solution है, throughout it solves your problem. I'll show you that. Fine. This is the TCS NQT plus Ninja plus Digital plus Prime online course. Fine. If you click on this, if you find this, you can find this on the homepage itself. And I'll just talk about the basic data. 97% students who enrolled in this are placed in TCS, and 72% of them got digital offer. So some of them got Prime, some of them got Ninja, but the major chunk got the digital offer, which is a very good offer, above 7 LPA. Fine. So this course can solve the problems for you, and if you go ahead and see its syllabus, everything from quantitative ability, logical ability, verbal ability, coding, languages, DSA, competitive coding, core subjects, interview preparation, skills, everything is covered here. Everything in detail. सब detail में covered है यहाँ पे, ठीक है? Now, for those who want कि previous year paper कहाँ पे मिलेगा, तो I'll show you. Wait a minute. I'll show you where you can find that. Fine. So you simply search Prepinsta TCS 2025 and you enter that. And here you get TCS NQT placement papers and questions. You go ahead. You open this up. You go to the prepare section. Fine. And in the prepare section, you will find these previous year question papers and the quizzes that you're having. And they have free as well as paid courses. For the Prime viewers, you'll have access to premium quizzes, but for those who have not subscribed to the Prime, you will have access to free quizzes like this. See, I'll open this up for you. I've shown this enough. I've shown this many times. So these are the free materials you can generally get. Fine. Now, coming to the further portion, if I go ahead, coding, what is necessary? A lot of times whenever I tell you go ahead study coding, people ask me topics बताओ sir. So topics बता देता हूँ, ठीक है? First of all, for basic coding, you need to have a grip on basics and working with numbers, basics of numbers basically. Looping, functions, recursions, arrays, algos, basic algos, fine, not DP here. Number series, coordinate geometry, strings, math logics, number conversion, ASCII related codes, advanced arrays, matrices and pattern printing. So these topics you need to cover now. How do you find these topics? Simple है, free है. Top 100 codes में जाओ. You go to top 100 codes, visit the top 100 codes pages of prepinsta.com and you will have this easily. Avinash, I'll request you, please put the top 100 codes link in the chat section so that people can easily benefit from it. Fine. So you'll be very soon having it. And for basically, I have always told you that if you go ahead and check for the advanced coding portion, you will have advanced DSA topics, arrays, linked lists, stacks, trees, graphs, queues, dynamic programming, infix, postfix, algorithms like Kruskal's, Prim's, Dijkstra, DFS, BFS, Karen algorithm. A lot of these algorithms would be asked in detail. अब ये कैसे सीखेंगे? One is you go to prepinstaprime.com. In competitive coding, DSA, TCS NQT, TCS Code Beta course. Any course you pick, you'll be having all this very structured in a detailed manner. अच्छे से explain किया हुआ, ठीक है? And for all those who are feeling that it is not as affordable for you, for them I can help you out. Go ahead, ये code लगा देना, ठीक है? Shukla 10. This will help you in some way. Fine. You'll get some financial rebate there. Now, for the free people, prepinsta.com, go ahead, previous year papers you check out. And recently I have made one list, top 150 not out questions. Fine. So this is a list where you have these topics in detail covered, and I can assure you, if you complete these 150 questions, you make good notes, you revise them, any company on earth, be it Google, be it Mang, be it any company, you can clear that out. Fine. So Prime to cakewalk ho jayega aapke liye. I'll show you what list I'm talking about. So I'll type it out. See, top 150 not out Prepinsta, you search, and the first page you get is this. And on this page, you're having multiple questions, and every question has many approaches. Even this, for example, valid Sudoku problem. Fine. This is a problem which is very famous. And if you see carefully, this will have hints and at least 2-3 methods here to solve. Fine. So this will help you a lot. This page can actually change things, but for this you need to have a good foundation in DSA. How do you build that? How do you build good basics? First of all, go ahead and prepare from basic coding, intermediate coding. You first of all practice this. If you're a Prime subscriber, if you can subscribe Prime, simply go ahead, work here. You'll get a basic of things. Fine. You'll have a very good foundation laid, and then 150 not out can be very well practiced. If you're somebody who's doing it himself, top 100 codes, fingertips pe kar lo, believe me, after that you can dive into 150 not out list. Fine. Let's go ahead further, and as I told you, for the coding rounds, cutoff for the coding rounds is in Ninja profile 2 complete problems, in digital profile 2 problems plus 1 partial test case, and in Prime all 3 questions thoroughly passed, full test cases passed. Fine. So for this, if you clear all these, if you clear this test with flying colors, you come to the interview portion. For interview, what do you need to study? One is, as I showed you in TCS NQT course, you are having a specific tab for interview, everything sorted out for you there. Otherwise, prepare any language. C is mandatory. Out of C++, Java and Python, any one. Fine. Then Prepinsta top 100 codes, revise them well, because a problem can be thrown at you and you must be thorough with them. So that can help you out there. Then basic and intermediate coding, DSA, not very in detail, in-depth DSA, not that, but a certain level of DSA, which is lead code easy to medium. Fine. That should be done. Certifications, if you have them in your resume, it can altogether change the result of your preparation of your interview. Altogether it can change it. Why am I saying so? Certifications add a lot of weight to your resume. If they are from some good organization which is known in the market, or you're having it from some government organization, fine, then it will help you a lot. And for that, I have specifically made what government internships you can do, and with them you can have it. Fine. You need to be very good with your projects, and if you are struggling with what projects to do, free में मैंने YouTube पे video डाला है top 5 projects. Avinash, I request you to please put that link in the chat section of top 5 projects video. That's free of cost. You guys watch it. We have given specific resume description which is ATS friendly. You take it, get inspired from it, and write your descriptions well, so that you get a good resume score as well. Fine. So Avinash, please help me out with that. And a big shout out to my CST team, my support team. They are actually phenomenal guys. It is due to them that I can speak up things with this confidence, because I know, see, these guys are so vigilant and good that immediately I got the link in the chat section. And that's why this is the commitment that an organization has towards its students. So apart from this, you have to study CS fundamentals. Now, if you're a Prime subscriber, again, you're having them in the Prime, but for those who want to study it for free, भाई देखो साफ बता रहा हूँ, बहुत मेहनत लगेगी, ठीक है, but हो जाएगा, don't worry. Free में भी possible है, time और effort बहुत ज़्यादा लगेगा. Now for DBMS, there are some things you need to study, which are concept of keys, relational databases, fine, relational DBs, fine. Apart from this, you can study SQL in detail, a bit of ER diagrams, fine, and normal forms. So this works for DBMS, fine. So DBMS and SQL are in one chunk. For OS, I am writing the topics here. First of all, CPU scheduling, and note these down. These are super important topics. CPU scheduling, then you can study process synchronization, fine. Apart from this, you can study deadlocks. Here, in deadlocks, bankers algo is super important, fine. Bankers algo is super important. Apart from this, what else you can do in deadlocks? Resource sharing graphs, fine. So resource, not this, resource, they're not letting me write it. Resource sharing, fine. You can study it in depth. And apart from this, one more thing, paging and memory management. These are the topics for people who want to study it for free, and disk scheduling. You'll have to find out sources, खुद से collate करना पड़ेगा, बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, but these are the topics. I am making difficult things simpler for you, fine. Now apart from this, I'll go ahead and I'll come to the CN portion. As I always say, you have two particular books in CN, and they are very good books. They are both from two authors. I'll write the author names so that you can buy those books. They are super good. I'm writing it here. In CN, basically the topics you need to study are OSI versus TCP model, then STP UDP, then a bit of cryptography, a bit of network security, fine. These topics you need to study well. You need to study protocols. And where do you find this chunk? In two books. One is Tannenbaum. This is the name of author, Tannenbaum. You can find this in your college library. Another is Bahrouz Forouzan. Now both of these books are very, very helpful, fine, and all these topics can be covered in detail from these two books. They are both from foreign authors, wonderfully written books, and honestly a big shout out goes to my teacher, Dr. Chandar Divakar, due to which I know these wonderful books. It was his suggestion and I studied it, and I myself got placed in product based company, fine. So this played a big role in that. Then comes SDLC, and for SDLC you can study the software development life cycle. Alongside that, you study software testing along with it, fine. In software testing, you study the basic black box, white box testing. In SDLC, you study waterfall models, you study V-shaped model, spiral model, all these models in SDLC, fine, and agile methodology. If you have any one skill certification with demoable project, nothing better than that, fine. And which skills to pick nowadays? I have specifically made top skills video, and for that you can go ahead, you can check it out on our YouTube channel. It is for free. Avinash, once again I'm requesting you, please, if you can put that link from somewhere, you pull out that top skills videos link and you put it out for the students, fine. I'll answer your doubts, don't worry. First of all, learn the things that I'm teaching here. Apart from that, this is for HR interview, group discussion, HR puzzles, guesstimates. Now guesstimates is something you don't easily get. This is the added advantage of Prime that you get there. And you have case studies, then advanced DSA, this is for Prime profiles, advanced projects, longer interviews, difficult questions, and these skills can be asked in depth for Prime if you have mentioned any of skill. For example, if you have mentioned ML or AI, you'll be asked in detail, fine. So apart from this, this is what I have envisaged for you. You join this link, you'll find this link in the WhatsApp section, this description section, you'll find this WhatsApp link, fine, and you join this group. This can help you a lot because here you'll get all of the details regarding the TCS NQT. I'll be posting even this PPT because it has detailed topics. I'll be posting this out so that you guys get a help from it. In PDF format, I'll be giving this, fine. Time is less, how to cover all? I'll come to doubts, but to answer this, Prime is the answer. Prepinsta Prime is the answer for you. Fine. So this is the Prepinsta Prime, in which you have 200 plus hours of course contents. You have basically 200 plus courses. You have full mock tests for any of the exam that you're applying. For example, TCS NQT, you have full mock lengths. Fine. You have coding and interview prep, PYQs, you are having topic wise 300 plus mocks, and if you want some discount, this coupon will help you out. Otherwise, you can straight away buy it. No issues if you want to straight away buy it. That's a separate story. But this particular platform can expedite your journey a lot. Fine. So you do this, you can go ahead, check out the TCS course. That can help you a lot. That can benefit you a lot. Apart from that, do join this particular group, because in free of cost, you'll get a lot of information here. Fine. So now I'm open to your doubts. Go ahead, shoot up your doubts and I'll be watching them. Sir, Ninja package में coding नहीं है ना? It is there. It is there. Time is less. How to cover all? Priyanka, I told you. One is you go to Prime and enroll and you get the access for the TCS course. Otherwise, Priyanka, what you can do is increase your study hours, collate things at one place. तो शायद फ्री में भी चीज़ें हो जाएं, बट बहुत हार्ड वर्क लगेगा, बहुत एफर्ट लगेगा, honestly. Sir, BCA students eligible or not? To answer all the eligibility questions right now, no eligibility has been given out from the side of TCS. As soon as some authentic information comes from TCS, and I'll come and I'll brief you. Fine, don't worry. Could you provide a link for applying NQT? Right now, registrations for NQT haven't started. They'll be rolling out that link very soon. As soon as it comes, you'll find it in this group and the social media handles. You'll find the link for this group in the chat section as well as in the description. You can join it out. Fine. When is the exam? Where to apply? What is the last date? Right now, it's just an hiring update. Fine. As soon as these details come from the TCS's end, fine, then I'll roll them out. I'll present only authentic information in front of you. Expected exam date. I must say I'm expecting this in March or April. Fine. By February end, they might be rolling out the registrations in a week or two, and then they might be having their exams. Fine. Sohail, your resume is more about full stack developer with 2 major projects. You can get Prime offer. There's no problem in that. All you need to do is pass the NQT with flying colors, as I told you, with all the given conditions, and you give a good interview, you will get it. Is TCS NQT the same for Ninja to digital upgradation after on campus? No, it is not that, but often people use it for that. Sometimes company allows that. Approximate date, I'm telling you, by the next 2 weeks of Feb or next 3 weeks of Feb, you might find the official link being rolled out. MCA students, they might be eligible. Yeah, I can't say this right now. Only 2 coding questions? No, there are 3 coding questions. Advay? Look, there are 2 questions that you're saying in advanced sections. In totality, there are 3 questions. Fine. So there are just 3 questions in the exam that you have to pass. Fine. Sir, what to prepare for interview? Okay, I just told you. You have to prepare this for interview. Fine. All this. I told you that you need to be thorough with one language out of C++, Java or Python. You have to be thorough with C, Prepinsta top 100 codes, basic intermediate coding, DSA, your skill, your projects, and your CS fundamentals. And all about CS fundamentals is written on this page. Right? I am from EC, I am eligible or not? Right now, no eligibility has been rolled out. So as soon as it comes, I'll tell you, don't worry. If you failed coding questions, then there's a high chance you'll get rejected. But if you generally pass 1 coding question, you get a call for Ninja, yaar. And 1 is very easy question, don't worry. Fine. Do the Ninja selected in 2024 on-campus student can also give this exam. Anything, please clear your doubt. Please elaborate it more. Right now, for TCS NQT, there is no specific eligibility condition. There is no particular bar for Ignite people or anything. Right now, it is not available. When it comes, I'll be there. Don't worry. Okay, Ram is saying I face a lot of problems in aptitude. Look, first of all, Ram, join the group. Join the WhatsApp group. In that, I'll be floating this PPT. You'll get the topics. You'll get this list. You'll get this list, no? In aptitude. Then you can study topic wise, make notes, practice more. This will help you out. Fine. Shubham, I told you if you fail coding questions, then there is a very high chance you might not get any call. Saurav Nath, sir, I don't have any projects. What should I do? I have made a specific video free of cost on YouTube, top 5 projects. You go ahead, watch it out. Support team, please once again float that link of top 5 projects video. I am from agriculture engineering. Would you be eligible? Guys, I'm again and again answering the same thing. Eligibility conditions have not been rolled out. As soon as they are given, मैं खुद आके बताऊंगा. I'll tell you guys. Don't worry. Majority of advanced aptitude, but able to solve all coding questions will prime or digital. There's a high chance that you'll be filtered for digital. Fine, Varun. But I particularly suggest you that go ahead, practice aptitude more. Why not to aim for prime? All of you, please aim for prime. Shoot for the moon, you land among stars. ठीक है? एक बार लक्ष्य ऊंचा रख के तो देखो. एक पत्थर उछालो तबियत से. क्या पता आसमान में छेद हो जाए? नहीं? Programming plus DSA in some questions only programming. For example, one question will be very easy, just programming, no DSA application, and you can solve it. Rutvik, I can tell you one thing right now, eligibility has not been rolled out. As soon as it comes, I'll tell you guys. Fine. Not in aptitude. I told you. Join the group, you'll get these topics, prepare aptitude more. Also, you can enroll on Prime, practice there. Fine, you'll have proper full length mocks. 3 months course is enough for 21 days, course is enough. I suggest you that you, first of all, if you want to take a trial, you can go ahead for 21 days, but generally 3 months should be a good enough time. Other important company tests, I will, as soon as any important company comes, Pawan, I'll come and specifically guide you guys. I told you, Ganesh, I answered your doubt. How to prepare for coding? I showed you just here. For coding, you need to study these topics. One way is you go to Prime, you check out these courses, prepare from here. Fine. If you are somebody who cannot afford or who's struggling financially, for you, top 100 codes, immense practice, notes का जुगाड़ करो कहीं से, study a lot, fine, and go ahead, study the basics of DSA, prepare yourself with the top 100 codes. That's all I can say with the previous year question papers and top 100 codes. That will help you. Profile, so can I give this exam? These queries would be further on floated, don't worry, fine. So I can answer when anything officially comes from TCS, fine. Varnika, approx date that I expect is somewhere around March. Fine, March or April. Atanu, as soon as registration starts, I will come. I will come and tell you guys, don't worry. Jayadhar, you follow us on all the social media handles. There we keep sharing all important companies test. Fine. We keep sharing information about that. Basic to intermediate, Ramu, sometimes advanced. If you're going for Prime, definitely advanced. If you're going for Ninja Basics, as simple as that. So, all of the details about registration process and eligibility can't be answered right now, as simple as that. Fine. So, I'm very clearly telling you, as soon as something official comes from TCS, I'll explain you guys. Fine. Gedda Jayadhar Pawan Kalyan, I have specifically answered your doubt that we share links on our social media handles. You can go ahead, follow there, and you'll get information there. Fine. Guys, please don't ask eligibility questions. I'm again and again answering the same thing, that eligibility conditions cannot be answered right now. As soon as TCS announces them, then I'll answer. How to master aptitude? Go ahead, study the topics. Join the group, you'll get this particular PPT. Study the topics, make notes, and things would be done. So I'm telling you, go ahead, please join the group. I will provide PDF of the slides, Varnika, but in the WhatsApp group. For that, link you can find in the description section as well as in the chat box. Fine, so go to the description or chat wherever you want and join that WhatsApp group. I'll share them out. Fine. Where I get that top 100 codes link? Okay, here you get it. On the website of Prepinsta Prime, you go to prepinsta.com, on this website, you go to prepare section, you go to programming, first link is top 100 codes. Fine, you check it out there. Guys, eligibility questions, I have answered enough. Pawan Kalyan, I've answered your doubt. I will provide, Varnika, you join the WhatsApp group, there I'll be providing you. Mahita, you can watch this video again and you'll be having a very, very good clarity about this. Fine. So anything specific about, see, this is the top 100 codes link. Fine. So anything about specifically about the NQT eligibility, I'll be answering once it comes from the TCS. You have top 100 codes link in the chat section as well. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you so much, yaar. Fine. So guys, I guess that's the wrapping time of the session because I have answered all the doubts and eligibility doubts are same. So there's no big deal about that. Ramu, 100 codes are easy to advanced. So as you progress, you learn things. Don't worry. Fine. I will provide PDF in the WhatsApp group only. So you can join that and stay tuned further because I will be coming up with the updates about this, about TCS in the WhatsApp group only and about various other updates on YouTube. As soon as something comes from TCS and I'll immediately come live in front of you and I'll explain you guys. Don't worry. I'll also post any other important hiring on social media handles. So you go ahead, do follow them, stay tuned to us. And as I always say, if anybody needs this information, go ahead, spread it out. जितने लोगों को बता सकते हो बताओ so that help happens. Keep doing good for others without any expectations. Fine. Expectation will come back to you. So that's all for today. Have a wonderful day ahead.